Today we are talking about impact and how it affects your book. Let me just get over here. Mark, I am going to ask you if you see us live in the group because you're on a delightful mute. I believe we are.
I'm on mute, yes, Melissa.
Yes, you see us in the group. I think we are.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, great. All right. So let's go. Welcome to Wednesday and welcome to Impact. Impact is actually an acronym. I'm a big fan of acronyms. Stands for inspiring, motivating, provoking action, connecting, and build trust. Because that's everything that we need to do to be able to charge high ticket. And like I said yesterday, you didn't hear like in there, did you? Right. I don't know why I'm so focused on that, but it really, it gets me. You got to update that information. So what do these things do? When you inspire somebody, you instill hope. And we talked about how hope really is, it's what people spend money for. Hope and faith. When you motivate them, you're creating a desire. You're building something in them. They might not even have known they wanted something, but when you motivate somebody, it makes them want it. And then provoking action is creating an urgency. So they don't just want it, they want it right now. Now, it's important during this time that you're connecting with them and you're building some form of relationship so that they get to know you and understand you and your products and services. And then building the trust, which that means you're becoming the expert. So as they're connecting with you, as they're getting all of these great feelings from you, you're becoming that shiny star in the sky that they are praying can help solve their problems. And you can. Again, this is another one of those things that I typically only share with my clients because this is so much more than just for your book. You'll find after we're done, you'll be able to use this information and apply it to anything that you teach, whether you have master classes, courses, whether you work in a retail environment and you want to maybe start something new within your company. What I want to ask you is, when you looked at your stories yesterday and you figured out what your top two were, what are 3 things that you could teach based around one of those stories? What are 3 things you could teach? Could you teach people how to overcome something? Can you teach people a new process, a new technique? Do you have a product you can teach people how to build? This is a really important step because this builds out what's going to go into your book as well. Because for a lot of you, including myself, we don't write books just to sell a few copies or even just sell 1,000, 10,000 copies. We're writing them because we want to bring more people into our business. And to do that, we have to show them what we're capable of giving them for transformation. So think about those things, those 3 things that you can teach. And I'm sure there's many more than that, but we want to keep it short because these books are meant to be quick, powerful, 90-minute, transformational. They put the book down and can't wait to call you books. So within those 3 things, when the person that hires you does those things, what does that transformation look like? How does their life change? Are they happier to get up in the morning? Are they making more money? Are they a better parent? Do they have a better relationship? What is the transformation that comes from those 3 things? And while you're building out your transformation, I'll make it even more deep for you. People spend money on wealth, health, and sex, which is love, right? That's what's going to motivate people to spend money. Love, health, and wealth. So if you can tie your transformations into those things, then you're going to be even better off. Now, out of all of the things there, what is that one something that you just kick ass at? It's that thing that people come to you for advice, right? They come to you all the time. They know that you are going to be able to give them the answer that they need to take a step forward. What is that thing? And how did your life change when you mastered it, right? Because we weren't born amazing experts at what it is we do now, right? We learned over time and practice and bumping our heads and stubbing our toes and failing forward and getting up. How did your life change from the beginning before you started to learn this to now? where you are an expert. Go ahead and write that down in your homework. And now we're going to talk about why all of this is important. So when you write a book, you get immediate credibility for being an expert, having an authority, gain celebrity. And when that book goes to bestseller, there's really not much that feels better than that, right? So how do you use that? So when I wrote my book, my very first one, like I said, I didn't make a ton of money on the actual book itself. I made it on the authority the book gave me. I had a social media agency. The book was called Learn to Love Your Bum, The 6 Steps to Self-Esteem and Empowerment. Nothing to do with the other, right? However, because it lifted me up into this new higher level of professional, I was able to start charging more of what I was worth within my business because people were seeking me out. They viewed me as, I accomplished something that not a lot of people they knew had accomplished. And you're about to do that same thing. So let me walk you through how this turns into your ability to start charging higher ticket, as well as showing you what a book can give you as far as confidence and actual real authority. So think about how long it took you to learn your craft, whatever it is that you do. And I don't mean, you went to school for 2 years. I don't mean, I've only been a publisher for a little under 2 years and writing books for a little over 3. But I also use all of my knowledge from marketing and sales. I use all of my knowledge from being an outside sales representative, as well as being a sales trainer for Fortune 500 companies. All of that comes into play with what I'm doing now, right? So think about all of the things that you've done in your life that have led you to this point where you are really good at what you do. And then I want you to take those years and times that number by 1,040. That is half of what a full-time job would be. Because of course you're working on other things, right? You're networking, you're doing administrative tasks, you're doing all kinds of other things besides just your job when you're in a job. So I figure half the year you're actually honing that craft and becoming a master. Now you'll see in box B, I want to talk about you right now. Where are you at now? What do you charge an hour? What's your hourly rate? Are you undercharging at 50, 65 an hour? Are you 150, 350, 1,000? What is your hourly rate? And how quickly could you teach somebody what you know that wants to be able to execute? So we're going to actually use my example. So it took me 15 plus years to get to where I am with the knowledge of what I do. It'll take me approximately 6 months or 120 hours over 6 months to be able to teach you exactly how to do it, to execute it for yourself. Now, what if somebody wanted to hire you at your hourly rate? Sure, they could do that. But if we base it on a client's salary, and I know this is a lot of math. If you have to rewind it, I would have to and go back through, please do, because these numbers are so important to understanding what you're worth. So take an average client, maybe they make $75,000 annually. Break that down to their hourly rate. They make 36 bucks. Okay. Now, if they were going to go and spend the time that you invested to learn to do what you do, they would be spending over $500,000 worth of time or money to get as good as you are. Most people do not want to spend that kind of money to do what you do. Now, if somebody were to want to pay you hourly at your rate for your 6 months or whatever your hourly program is, for me, that would be $42,000. Now, I'm not going to charge that to somebody, right? Because they just want to learn how to write a book and get all of the things and, all the things I offer and figure out how to do some of that on their own. I wouldn't. Now, if somebody wanted to know what I do so they could do what I do and sell it, absolutely, I'm charging 42,000 plus, right? Because that is an income. That is a forever ability to bring in money. But because I'm teaching them just for them, for their own execution, and we're coming out with a finished product and their ability to replicate it themselves, I charge them 25% of what that knowledge base would be. So that's 10,500. Now, I am happy to answer questions for you in the group specifically about this equation, about these numbers. It took me a long time to figure out exactly how everything worked and how to get to the right number. And this, ever since I've done it, has always felt right. And it's important to let your clients know what they're getting for value. Don't ever forget all of the time that you have spent learning to do what you do. They don't want to spend that. And if they don't want to spend the money to learn it, then they're not your client, because you deserve to get paid for what you know. So this is going to be important. The key now is to figure out what is your number.